Hi everybody, this is Steve. This is a quick video on the features and functions of the Suplex admin UI. Alright, when you open the UI, it starts off in the Secure Objects pane. The other pane is Security Principles. We'll start here. This is where to create users and groups. So right up on the top, there's a new button, new user, new group. Start by creating a new user. Alright, so we have Captain Kirk created here, and we'll just save that user, create another one. Alright, and we can create a group while we're here. We'll call this group Enterprise. We have that. Alright, so the difference between a local group and an external groups are expected to be found somewhere out in a domain or an external database or something to that effect. And Suplex will not allow editing the membership of an external group. If it's a local group, you can edit the membership. Whereas a local group and an external group both can participate in the membership of other groups, local groups. You can't edit the membership of an external group. So we'll make this a local group and we'll add Captain Kirk and we'll add Bones. Click the Add button, save. Now that group has been created. Let's go ahead and create one more group while we're here. We'll call this group Senior Staff. Create it as a local group, and we'll add Kirk to this, Bones, and save that. Let's create a couple more users real quick. In this case, we'll create Mr. Spock. While we're here, we'll add him to the Enterprise group. Save. And we'll also create one last user, the unenviable Mr. Redshirt. And we'll also add him to Enterprise. Okay, let's hop over here, look at the Enterprise staff. So we have everybody in there. Senior staff, we'll add Mr. Spock. Done. Okay, so that shows how we can edit the membership in this case. We can always nest groups if we want to, like I mentioned before. So if we hop over here, we'll look at the senior staff. We could make that group a member of the Enterprise group. Same could be done for external groups. So we could save that. We could always add it to some other team. Done. So if we look at that, we cannot edit the membership of that because it's considered that the membership is hosted externally. All right, secure objects. These are objects which are security topics within your application, whether it be a UI or an API or whatever it is. These are the things that you look up for security information at runtime. They only come in two flavors, a root and a child. Properties are always the same. So if we create a root object, we can add permissions here. So let's start off by adding, say, a file system right. Here's the groups that we created before. So we'll say the Enterprise group gets full control. Done with that. And that's all we need to do for creating a root. Click Save. Then we can create a child of that root, for instance. And we'll create a permission for that. This time we'll create a record write just for fun. We'll assign this to the senior staff. We'll give them update and list. Perhaps turn off allowed. Done. Just for fun, we're going to convert the file system write into a UI write, create, That creates a record down here. We can edit the options on this in the same way as above. Same goes for audit aces. We could create an audit ace for any given topic. Here's the settings that are available for it. Click Save. So that's basically all it takes to create. We create more root nodes if we want to. And then there's basic drag and drop on the UI if you want to arrange these things into some other tree hierarchy. All right, so that's all it takes for creating secure objects. If you want to delete one of them, up here, delete. There's no prompt beyond this, so be sure you mean it if you delete it. Gone. Same goes for security principles. If we want to delete one of these things, click delete. Again, there's no prompt beyond this. Gone. All right, the other features of the UI. So real quick, what I'll do is I'll save this file. Just sort of a standard save feature here. Done. So what that will actually have done is created a YAML file, serializes this information to text in YAML. You can just examine the contents of that file. There is a most recently used list associated with this. When you close it, the list will be updated for files that you recently created. In this case, we could browse to a different file. We'll click sample. So here's this that we just loaded from disk. Standard file browse as well. So here's the thing that we just created. You can also connect to a web service if you have a Suplex web service running out in the world. Here's the most recently used list for that too. So I'll just connect to one that I have running. So here's the information from that web service that's out there. In this case, the file controls are grayed out. You can disconnect from the web service here, refresh. This allows you to export the contents out. So if I click this, I can choose that I want to export the file. And then there's also an option of merging contents. This kept me connected to the web service, by the way. There's also an option of merging things into a web service. So for instance, if I grab my test file from before, choose that, then it'll merge those objects into a tree. All right, so it just did that. So now we have the senior staff, and we should have enterprise in here somewhere. Yep, so we have two enterprises because I already had an enterprise in here. It matches basically on the UID of the record. There's a GUID stored in the file. You can look in the file and see that. And then we'll have the secure objects. Here's the my root test and another root node that I created in another document. So those have been merged into the running web service version of this. So the feature around that is designed to export and import between web services, is primarily around migration-based environments. So if you're working in a development environment or a stage environment and you have all of your security configured there, say for testing purposes, or you want to backport from your production environment into a lower environment, you can export all the security and import it into another environment. When you're done with this, you can just disconnect. That will leave you in a state that the content is still available in the editor, and then you could choose to save it if you want, or not. Browse to another file. This is the new button. Create a whole new store, just click new and you're done. You could edit up all the content and then connect to a web service and import it like what we did. And that's all the features of the UI. So, thanks for watching.